Welcome back to True Story with John Gibson. Today I have an exciting guest. He is a PFL vet, a RIZIN vet, UFC vet, mixed martial artist, Johnny Case. Johnny, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure, John. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, completely my pleasure. So I feel like it's really funny, man. Like social media is so weird in that like I don't know you, we've never met, we've barely spoken, but I swear to God, I feel like I know you. Like I followed you for a long time. I mean, I feel like you got on my consciousness about 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago when you were with the UFC competing and like on your run there on your tear. And then I followed you from social media for like years since, it feels like so. Man, it's a pleasure having you on the show. Like, I'm excited. I got a lot of questions for you. So again, thank you again for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. My pleasure.
Awesome. So two quick things. I wanted to touch on one quick thing and then kind of go back in time. But I heard recently you're getting ready to make your pro boxing debut this summer, right? With in July in your local state in Iowa, right?
Yeah, in Iowa. Yeah, it's actually in my hometown where I graduated from high school. So it's going to be,
Wow.
it's like, it's a pretty big thing for me. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that this summer.
So like, yeah, so and I'd heard this and I was super excited. And I was also it's just funny. It's ironic because I definitely wanted to learn more about that because I feel like were you a boxer or maybe I misinterpreted this, but you were boxing prior to MMA growing up? Like, did you come from a fighting family?
I did. I actually grew up in Iowa as a wrestler. I was a wrestler. I never threw hands.
First.
Yeah, I was a wrestler
Wow.
first. And when I started doing MMA and started actually fighting, everybody thought I was just a wrestler, but I was going out there and I was knocking everybody out. And they were, man, like you're a natural, you're a good puncher. Like you should stick to your striking. And so yeah, it's kind of worked out for that. But I started off as a wrestler.
Wow, I'm so shocked to hear that. And it's true. And I mean, I think currently your record's something like 34-7, but like you have like 25 KOs and you're maybe the only fighter I've ever seen. I'm sure there's others out there, but I can definitely say you're the only fighter I'm aware of that has 3 submission victories by strikes.
Yeah.
What? I've never heard of that. That's amazing. Yeah, your punching power is insane. Like it's actually amazing to learn that wasn't your base. Like your fundamentals were not there. That's pretty impressive, man.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like it just kind of the way that it was described to me, like you're just born a puncher, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I was blessed to, good bone structure for punching faces.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And it's so I'm not surprised, I guess, to learn about wrestling. And of course, being from Iowa, like you're gonna have great fundamentals and I'm sure you had a lot of good early influences from there. But did you always know that maybe or I guess when did you determine that like MMA was the path for you?
So I was kind of a lost kid, but like in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I loved wrestling. Wrestling was my passion. You know what I mean? That was the only thing like I really worked hard at, you know what I mean? Otherwise I was like, man, I didn't know what I wanted to do. But so I had a scholarship to wrestle in college. And I was like, okay, I'll try this. And I went to school for 1 week and I was like, no, this isn't what I want to do. I didn't even get to wrestling. I was like, I want to be a fighter. Like I knew it. I knew it in my heart. I was like, I wanted to fight, you know what I mean? And I knew that if I invested enough time into that, like everybody else was investing their time into school, like I knew I would be successful, and it was just kind of like, I was just too dumb to fail, It was the only way to go succeed. And yeah, it's crazy.
Well, it's interesting too, because I feel like as like just a fan of yours on the peripheral, having kind of followed your career and then gone back and kind of reviewed some of your earlier career that I was a little less familiar with, it seems like you took kind of the traditional track, whatever that is, and you fought locally, but you got into the UFC pretty young. Like you were still a young man. And like I remember like I guess what I'm trying to say is like out of nowhere, like fighting is really taking you around the world. You've been in Brazil, you've been in Australia, you've been in Japan. Could you have ever have imagined or like that's where that would have taken you?
No way, man. I've been so blessed. I've been so
Yeah.
blessed, journey, man. Like I look back over like just to see all I've accomplished so far, all the places I've been that fighting has taken me, all the people that I've met. And dude, I am so blessed and I'm so rich. You know what I mean? Like I'm so rich in that aspect of like, chasing my dreams and doing it, to the fullest. And, it's pretty cool stuff. So, I mean, I've been fortunate and, the the ride's still rolling too. So
yeah, for sure.
You know, it was so close to winning the world title for the RIZIN Grand Prix.
Man, you were right there.
Right there. And then with the PFL, this year, you know, I had a chance for that title too. So it's like championship level is right there in my grasp. And, you know, and I know where I'm at. It's just, you know, now it just comes down to circumstances.
I know. And it's really, I can only imagine, right? I know you're living it. So you're like, trust me, John, but like, you have all the talent in the world. I see it. You were right there. That RIZIN fight, that champion. First of all, your competitor, I wish I could pronounce his name. It's like spelled T-O-F-I.
Tawfiq Musayev.
Okay. He might be the fastest puncher I've ever seen in my life. You're fast.
He's good.
I've never seen anything so fast.
Yeah, he's good. He made some adjustments really quickly that I didn't pick up on. Like, no, that guy could be any champion in the world at any given night. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like once you get to that level, it's like, you know, top 10 guys in the UFC, well, top 5 guys in the UFC, like any one of the, you know, ONE FC, RIZIN, Bellator, you know, Patricio, any one of those guys at that level, like world-class level, could beat the champion of the world. You know what I mean? So, and Tawfiq, one of those guys too.
100% agree. I mean, you got like a suplex on him at one point, like a high crotch. I don't know. You slammed him on his head for sure at one point, and he rallied so quickly that it looked unhuman. I was like, no, what?
Yeah, I just posted that clip on my Instagram story this morning. So what had happened was he hit me with a punch, and it wobbled me, like, and I went all the way like on my heels until I hit the corner post,
right,
and fell on my ass, and he came running up and threw a flying knee at me, and I picked him up from my ass. I double legged him, dumped him on his head, and then went to take his back, and he just popped up like Energizer Bunny. And
it was insane. And then even as a fan, I remember it so vividly. I didn't even see it this morning, but I remember it so vividly too, because, and then it's like he got you again, and then you had the wherewithal, you slipped and then hit him again. Like you were still in it. Like it was so exciting. He's so fast. I agree. He could be a world champion. It's going to be really interesting. And, you know, I guess that leads me to another question. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you had won like 3 or so in a row, had that fight. And it just, I guess I don't understand the life of a fighter. And I guess the contracts were, you know, are you really that expendable? I guess is what I'm asking. Like you lose one, you could just be cut like that.
I mean, yeah, you could even win. You could even win and get cut. That's the craziest thing about it. The UFC more so than anywhere else, I feel like everywhere else, you kind of know what to expect. Like you lose 2, 3, you know what I mean, 4 fights if they like you, like, and then, you know, it's kind of like, okay, like it makes business sense that, you know, we don't do business anymore. But no, man, like this is a dog eat dog world.
Right.
The fight business it can be fucking ugly on the business side. Yeah. So I mean, you can't be surprised to be cut at any time for any given reason. So business is business.
Yeah. I mean, and it's good to know that you go into it and you know that transparent, like you have that perspective but I guess, how do you manage that? Like you're a father, like you're a good father. You post about your boys and like, you know, it's like, it must be hard to just manage. Like you might not know where your next fight's going to be. Right.
Yeah. But at the same time, I chose this life too, you know, and I you know, I do other things too. You know, I'm not just Johnny Case, the MMA fighter. You know, I'm Johnny Case, the father. I'm Johnny Case, the MMA promoter. I'm Johnny Case, you know, the friend. You know, and so, you know, I don't really get too taken back in that aspect. But yeah, it's just it is a little bit. It's stressful financially speaking. It can be pretty freaking stressful being a fighter. In fact, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, for sure. I had the opportunity of interviewing Frank Shamrock this morning, which was like a bucket list thing for me. And exactly that, you know, he was just talking about the physical toll 20 years later and a little bit about like, as a fighter, it's one of these weird, you know, as a fan, we really take you guys for granted sometimes, you know, and I think we lose sight of, you walk into the cage or to the ring and no matter what, even if you win, you're going to walk out different. You know, you're going to be harmed, you know, and you're going to be slightly less, and maybe it heals, but maybe not, you know, and it's just to what degree. And I just think it's really important we kind of remind ourselves of that, because you're going to have that forever, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. And I guess to what you were saying though, your point, and again, another reason why I think I'm a fan of yours is you do, knowingly or not, man, like Johnny, you preach balance a lot. Like you're really cerebral. You're not just the fighter. Like you do, like I feel like, and that's really unique. A lot of fighters just, it's like an identity. Like this is all I am.
Sure.
You know, I'm a tough guy or
Sure.
whatever. And that's cool. Like I'm a fan of those dudes, but like,
Sure.
but
the
more,
party
right?
the party ends, and then what? You know what I mean? Then what are you gonna do? You've attached yourself to so much of this part of your life, and now that's over. And then now what? Your life's over. It's like you got to start new. You got to start anew. You know, it's like I kind of see that too. You know what I mean? Like there's life is so much bigger than fighting. You know what I mean? I love fighting. It's my passion. If I could make it my whole world, I would. But
yeah,
it's not realistic. You know?
Sure. Yeah, it's great. And it's so awesome that you have that like long-term maybe perspective too. Sure. Like, so with that, I mean, I guess like you don't take this path in life unless you want to be a world champion, right? Like you take it to the end. Like, so yeah. I guess like for you, how do you pursue that? Like, it's like you said earlier, it's a mixture of like obviously performing, but then you got to have like the right management in place, right? To kind of put you in the right opportunities.
Oh, it's so important. It's that old saying, like you become who you surround yourself with. That is so true. And it comes down to your friends, to your team, to your management who represents you. You know what I mean? Like, cause that's how you get opportunities. You know what I mean? If the people that are with you, you know what I mean? The people that are in your circle, they should be bringing good opportunities forth. You know what I mean? They shouldn't be deterring, you know, they shouldn't be like stifling that, but they definitely shouldn't be deterring that either. You know what I mean? And,
yeah, for sure.
That's so important. I mean, that's something that, you know what I mean? I you know, it cost me my UFC contract. You know what I mean? That having the wrong representation, the wrong man. It wasn't even me personally. It was just, you know, goes back to business, the politics of fighting. And, you know, I got the short end of the stick, but it's like, hey, what did I expect? You know, having this person represent me and just, they didn't have it, you know what I mean? Just didn't work out. So
yeah,
that's crucial, man.
Do you find that like, and again, you're unique in this in a cool way. Like you're a fighter, but you're also a promoter. So I feel like that maybe gives you an advantage in two ways. One, hopefully you can be a better promoter and promote fighters. You know how to do that, like a good way of telling a story, right? But also, you know, from a fighter's perspective, maybe how to build a fighter, not just short term, get someone in there, right? So do you feel like that makes you more like cerebral?
Well, I mean, I think the only reason I got into promoting is because I wanted to help give back to the sport that gave me so much. I mean, I was just a lost young kid, you know what I mean? And through fighting, I found myself. I found my purpose. I found God. I found you know, my family. Like, so my goal has always been to give back and help the fighters that I was in that position. You know what I mean? And not just, you know, pimp them out for ticket sales like a lot of other local promotions do, but like build these kids. And like, if they really want this life, then give them all the opportunities and all the best shot at, you know, going to do that. And then move them on up. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of always been the goal. So
yeah, that's awesome. And it's awesome you do that. Yeah, it's great, man. That's fantastic. So other than like the boxing, you know, event coming up, do you have anything else you're currently training for? Or are you just focusing on maybe stand up right now?
Just working on my boxing. So a lot of people don't know this, but before that Tofik Musayev fight, like 2 weeks before that fight, I got knocked out in practice, and I had I got hit. I got kneed right in the temple, and and then like 30 minutes later, I went home and I had like some like pink fluid started running out my nose, and I ended up having a CSF leak, cerebral spinal fluid leak, where it's like, you know, you get hit in the brain and brain fluid comes out through your cavity and stuff. And so that happened 2 weeks before the fight. Then I ended up getting knocked out in the fight. Then that summer I got knocked out again. I went to help Zombie in his camp, and I ended up getting knocked out. It was just like, so it was like bang, 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 real repetitive with like, and I've never had head trauma like that before. So I've just been focusing like on just, you know, healing and not doing any sparring, just working on my strength, my athleticism, my drilling, you know, hitting pads, stuff like that. And, you know what I mean? Cause it's like we said, you know, fighting isn't everything, you know, you got a life after.
Smart.
You know, and everything happens for a reason. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Smart, smart, smart. Yeah, exactly. It can't benefit you. Just heal, take the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. And there's other ways you can improve. Yeah. I feel like
Totally.
age, sometimes we get older, we learn to chill a little, like get a little bit
Yeah.
more smart about that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, this is my 13th year as a professional fighter. So, I mean, like, I already know, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to spar really anymore. You know what I mean? You need to spar a little bit, just like get your timing up, your speed up, but I don't need to go in there and, get banged on every,
of course
all day. It's like, there's smarter ways to do that, and
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Now.
What are some other ways you take care of yourself? I mean, do you have any type of diet or CBD, anything like that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, just vitamins, minerals, eat good, healthy, organic food, drink lots of water, exercise, sleep, all that stuff. So important. Massages, like, getting, like, that's what, I'm starting to get older too now. I'm 31 and, body just doesn't recover like it used to, you know what I mean? Like you'll get like a stinger or something and be like, oh, I can just work through it or it'll go away if I did. And then, then it turns out to be a problem, a month down the line. And, so it's like, I really got to start paying more attention to that stuff and getting more massages and stuff. But that's pretty much it, man. Just take care of yourself, take care of your body, get the heart rate up as much as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep going, keep your feet moving, keep the metabolism up. That's awesome. And just smart stuff, good choices. Like, it sounds like you're just being reasonable, like good fuel, good water. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We're coming a little bit on time, but I want to ask you, and I know it sounds cliche, but like, you are like a super motivating guy. Like, do you have maybe like some words of advice you like to give people or anything like, to help inspire others?
Yeah. I mean, just love everybody, you just spread love to the world around you, even if, everybody goes through stuff and, you know what I mean? Life is hard sometimes. So just try to give everybody as much help as you can. Don't put yourself out too much, get taken advantage of that way, but just love and understand that everybody's got their own path,
Yeah, for sure, man. Awesome, Johnny. That's great. Thank you again kind of so much for coming on and sharing a little bit about, your life and kind of life experiences. I really appreciate it. Again, this is True Story with John Gibson and today's guest, Johnny Case.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.